that are on my heart. I know other staff, we're trying to figure this whole idea out, and it's no different for our student ministry. First of all, students, I just want to tell you that we miss you, that there's just nothing that can take the place of being together. And I think if I'm being honest and a little bit vulnerable, it's affected me. This whole idea of social distancing and staying at home, and it's affected me, and I'm been trying to think about how to overcome it. But today was kind of the first day that it really hit me pretty hard. I'm just so used to seeing you guys every week and every Sunday night and every Wednesday and in small groups and schools, and now I just don't, and that's hard. It's hard on me. It's hard on us. It's hard on our volunteer team. And so I wanted you to know that we really do miss you, and I think about you guys all the time. Think about ways that we can make this work and work together. And the second thing that I want to share is this is so uncomfortable for me. Usually I am not the person that sits down and wants to do Instagram lives and Facebook lives, and I'm figuring all this out on my own. And but I think that's maybe one thing that God is working on me is not just about the technology part of all this, but where's my comfort? Where's my comfort level with all this? And maybe this is maybe God working in my life to not only just teach me new things, but to push me a little bit further than I might go normally. And so it's kind of in that spirit that I'm coming to you. There are some things that I've been kicking around in my head for the last 2+ weeks since we've been social distancing because of the virus and the contagiousness that it brings, and so there have been things I've been thinking about and things that I've been kind of working on in my head, and I thought that this week, each day, I might take one of those things. That I got 5 right now. I don't know what I'll do next week, but I have 5 things right now that I've just been thinking on. And so the first one is this. I see, in social media, and as I talk to students, I see, and totally rightfully so, I see a lot of frustration and anxiety and worry and things, and a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it has to do with things that we've been planning for and things that we've been looking forward to, and activities and events and trips that may or may not happen. I think that right now we're still kind of waiting to see how the next few weeks go to make plans for further away than that. But I think about our seniors. I think about the important milestone events that are coming up for you, and I'm praying. I'm praying that all this is over so soon. But I'm praying over you guys. I want you guys to know that I'm so prayerful over you, that your senior year is all that it can be and more, even with this roadblock and hiccup. That we could overcome it. That we'll find a way. That things will go back to normal. And it's not just seniors, but today I was just kind of really feeling our seniors and just again, real prayerful for you. But I think there's this sense of anxiety and worry and frustration about the things that may or may not happen, that things that are or are not in our control. We right now a lot of decisions are being made for us. Students, you have parents who, parents, sometimes they make decisions for us that are out of our control. We have lawmakers and politicians who are making decisions that are outside of our control. When we grow up and we have jobs and we have responsibilities, we have bosses and we have employers who make decisions for us that are out of our control. And so there's this idea about control, about worrying about things that are outside of our control. And what I've challenged myself to this week is there's a lot of things that are going on in student ministry, in church, in life that I don't have control over. And sometimes it's really hard for me to not just sit down and just be angry and just be frustrated at the things that are not going the way that I want them to. And I'm not trying to mitigate anybody's circumstance. I'm not trying to minimize anybody's frustration, because it's real. It's a real thing. But here's what I've decided for me, and maybe this is helpful to you. I've decided this week that the things that are outside of my control, it's not that I'm not going to stop thinking about them. It's just that I'm going to direct my effort and I'm going to direct my energy towards things that are in my control. And I think that's so important, because I really believe that this generation is going to change the world. That you have the capacity and you have and you're going to have the understanding and the know-how to make such a difference in our world. But I think that this generation is going to have to put their effort and their energy into finding out ways to make that difference that I know that you can. And so I think, whereas we're tempted to just sit and be frustrated, I think that we ought to take that energy and channel it and direct it towards the things that are in our control. Towards being a solution maker, finding out the way to solve the problem, to being the best son or daughter or student or brother or sister or whatever it is that God has called you to be, directing that energy and effort and passion and focus into doing those things that are under your responsibility, those things that are in your control. All this just kind of reminded me of this verse in 1 Peter 5. It's, Peter's writing to new Christians. This is during a time of persecution where people they're enduring hard times, and Christians are meeting kind of in small little groups and in their homes, and they're not able to go to church. Kind of like right now, we're not able to be together and be in church and be a corporate worship body together, but we are able to carry on our faith and grow our faith in our home. And so Peter, at the end of his letter, 1 Peter writes, humble yourselves, verse 6, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him because he cares about you. Casting all your care upon him because he cares about you. Guys, I just want to tell you that in the midst of the frustration, in the midst of the anger and the worry and anxiety about everything that's going on right now in our world in this season, I think that God is calling us to cast our cares upon him because he cares about us. He's not a distant God. He's not a God who does not care. I think that God is calling on us to lean into the promise that he cares about us. He's the God of the infinitely big and the very, very small. He's the God of details. And so I don't think that in this he's distant. In fact, I think he's very close. And our temptation is going to be to let the enemy take our effort and take our energy and use it towards being frustrated and being angry. But I think I'm challenging myself, and maybe you'll take this challenge with me, that instead of doing that, I'm going to focus my effort and focus my energy on controlling or on the things that are in my control. I'm going to focus my effort and my energy on the things that are in my control and that I have responsibility over and that I can make change in. So I hope you'll do that with me. I hope this has been helpful. Again, kind of raw, uncut, but just finding this avenue in this way, I think has been helpful for me to just release some of the thought that I've had and kind of kick it around in my head. Students, I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you. I'm hoping that our time together is going to come real soon. But until it does, I just want you to know that you're loved and cared and thought about. We'll see y'all tomorrow.